So, it might be mid-Tory conference, but let's set aside the nasty party for a moment because there's been some rather interesting happenings in the Green Party recently. They've become the first party in the country to formally offer their backing to the Enough is Enough campaign, which has been attracting crowds in towns and cities across the country speaking out against the inaction of government on the cost of living crisis, speaking out in favour of trade unionism, of renationalisation, against the energy price rises, against the tax cuts announced by Truss, against the Tories in general, really, speaking up for all the meaningful changes this country needs right now. But you'll have seen Enough is Enough in action by now, surely. You don't need me to tell you about them. Well, unless you're still daft enough to watch the BBC for your news, I guess. Now, all this is pretty socialist stuff. Jeremy Corbyn has spoken at these rallies, you won't be surprised to know, and you can well imagine him speaking out on all of these things. But the Green Party weren't exactly known for their support of him when he was Labour leader. You can argue they were in rival parties. However, they were willing to see him lead a caretaker government to remove Johnson back in 2019, unlike some others. But back to the here and now, why have they backed such a stance when for many people they're regarded as somewhat liberal in their leanings? Actually, policy-wise, you might be surprised. In fact, all their policies are decided by members, unlike every other party, which only offers narrow policy options. It seems that because of that, and perhaps due to many former left Labour members disgusted with where Starmer has taken that party joining them, they've drifted leftwards as a result. A Green New Deal putting climate at the heart of all policy areas, just as Corbyn's Labour laid out, including energy rationalisation, banning fracking, phasing out of fossil fuels, and bringing in renewable options that we actually own too. A universal basic income, opposition to NATO and Trident, a wealth tax, undo the privatisation creeping into the NHS, renationalising it properly as it once was, and do the same in other areas too, like the railways. It does make me wonder, having had all of this pointed out to me, the Starmer's takeover of Labour, with all the lies and the return to the dishonest, grubby donor politics of Labour under Blair, has driven a shift in the Greens, going further than even Enough is Enough demands do. Though, in fairness, they already had trade union links and a socialist section. But all in all, it does have me wondering, based on all of this, yet accepting it's certainly not perfect, are the Greens a new home for socialists now that Labour is completely dead to us? And actually, are they a barrier to the change the country needs?